Hello, my name is Jessica Jones. I am the soprano resident artist. I'm originally from Pocatello, Idaho, and I got my undergraduate and master's degrees from the University of Houston down in Texas. So a soprano is the highest of the female voice types, and there are a lot of delineations within what we call the Fach system, which is a German term that just means some subcategories of voice types. There's something that is called the soubrette soprano, which is perhaps the lightest of the sopranos, as well as a character type more than anything. Then we have light lyric, lyric, full lyric, dramatic, spinto, and Wagnerian soprano. Within that, there are also some even finer subcategorizations. There's something called a coloratura soprano, and that means coloring or really high, light, fast voice types. And I'm somewhere in the middle of all of those voice types. I fall into what is called a lyric coloratura soprano voice. So I end up singing a lot of high passages, as well as a lot of sustained passages as well. So it's kind of combining really fast and high movement with a lot of lyric and warm sounds. So I get a really great opportunity to show lots of different types of my voice and lots of different versatility with my singing, given that voice category. When I am looking at a role, I make sure that I first know, if it's not in English, what I'm saying. So I really need to make sure I know the translation of the text, as well as a very clean pronunciation of that text, so that it feels authentic, and so that I'm not building in any bad habits, and so that I'm really being authentic to the score. Then once I feel that I have an understanding of my character and the story, then I go through the whole score rhythmically, and I speak that text very rhythmically until it feels natural in my mouth, especially if it's a foreign language. After that, I add in the melody. So I'll go through on a neutral syllable, for example, la, la, or da, da, and I will learn the whole role on just the melody. Once that is there, then I combine all of those things together. So we have the text and the rhythm, as well as the melodic passages. And once you have those together, hopefully you will have started already memorizing some of the text, because it's so inherently built into your muscle memory. So those are the three primary layers that I like to build a role on. So sopranos often play the romantic leads. We get to play the young lover or the love interest of the tenor, for example. That's often the stereotype, and that is typically true. Our fate is somewhat, it can change. We sometimes have a happy ending as a soprano and we get to ride off into the sunset. Sometimes it's a more tragic ending, like a Romeo and Juliet story, for example, where Juliet doesn't make it through the end, but she still falls in love. And then, you know, a soprano can also play the comedic character. She may get to actually be sort of cunning, or she can be sort of a seductive type. So there's lots of different types of roles we get to play as a soprano. So breath is the most important part of learning how to have a good technique as an opera singer. We use what is called appoggio, which is derived from the Italian term appoggiatura, or to lean on. Singing is inherently unnatural. We normally, when we speak, we have 3 steps to our breathing, or 2 steps. We have inhale, exhale. But in singing, we have inhale, hold, sustain, the exhale, and then finally we can regroup and let the body recoil naturally. So appoggio, or to lean on, then refers to that unnatural thing of extending the exhale. So if I take my hands here, and you can sort of probably see, when I breathe in, I have a nice expansion here, and I want to maintain that for as long as possible when I'm singing, so that I'm resisting collapse. And the way that works then, when you release your breath slowly, is that you're actually able to sustain longer phrases than perhaps you would think you'd be able to do with just a normal breath that you'd take for speech. Unlike instrumentalists, our instrument is in our body. So everything you eat, everything you do, all of your activities affect your vocal cords or your vocal folds in your body and affect your breath. So if I have not had enough rest, then my body maybe have a little inflammation, or I may not really have enough stamina through my day to really maintain healthy singing. It's important that you hydrate as a singer, because if you're dehydrated, your vocal folds will be dry and they won't be able to moisturize themselves as you're singing a lot. And it's also important that you take care of yourself physically. I like to think of opera as sort of the Olympics of singing. It takes a lot of athleticism to really build a technique that is sustainable over a long time. So if I'm actually exercising outside of singing and I'm really taking care of myself, eating healthily, just like you would if you were an athlete, that helps me as a singer really perform at my very best most of the time. So I'm going to sing a little snippet of a typical soprano aria. This is from Puccini's La Bohème, and it is called Quando me ne vo.